Hey everyone, welcome back to Tom's Kitchen. One of my friends, Gary, he was asking me what he should do with a jar of sun-dried tomatoes that he had. You've seen these jars in the store, packed in oil. What are they? So they're delicious tomatoes that have been sun-dried, Italian plum tomatoes, and then packed in oil, which exudes a nice flavor to that oil. So I said, you could easily just chop them up, put them into a pasta salad, put them onto a sandwich. I said, or you could, do a stuffed chicken breast. And this was all via text messages. So he's like, okay, I'll try the first two because it's stuffed chicken breast. He goes, I've never stuffed a chicken breast. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to look at stuffing a chicken breast. So I've taken a sun-dried tomato. And so this is, you can see it's a nice whole tomato half. And I'm just julienning that tomato. It's nice and pliable. And I like to do things like this. That's going to be, bite-sized so that when you're chewing into something, you're not having to fight against it. So they're pliable, but still you don't want it, hanging out your mouth in front of company. So we're going to use that for the stuffing. Then I have this in the refrigerator, a piece of Boursin cheese, and this one comes with garlic and fine herbs. So it's a very spreadable cheese. So we're going to open that up, and it is a 5-ounce piece of cheese. So we're going to have about 4 chicken breasts here, so we'll probably just cut this into fourths. So it's just a little bit over 1 ounce of cheese per chicken breast. I'm just going to make those into little logs that we can then use. So I picked up chicken breasts at the store yesterday. And I don't know what they're feeding these chickens, but here. This is a chicken breast, and I weighed it. It weighs a pound. So that's never going to cook easily. So we could make a pocket in here and fill it that way. But let's look back to what we did a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to just take this, I'm going to take my knife, and we're just going to split it and cut it lengthwise in half. So here's the tapered end. So I'm going to start there. Again, this is a nice boning knife. So it cuts through here. I'm pressing down, so it's not moving much at all. And just slide it right through. So now I have these 2 nice halves of chicken. But again, that's thick. It's can be hard to work with, so I have my plastic wrap. We're going to just cover it. Get out our baton, our rolling pin. If you've had a bad day, great way to get rid of some of that bad day energy. And also, we're not only making it thinner, easier to roll, it's also helping to tenderize it. So this will be very, very easy. And if you really like doing this, this is also what you'd do if you wanted to make chicken schnitzel. It is fall, and so maybe you're thinking you want a schnitzel. I think that's done. Okay, so I have my nice piece of chicken, and I'm going to put in one of those slices of the Boursin cheese. Going to spread it down just a little bit. Take a nice clump of those sun-dried tomatoes packed in oil. And now we're just going to simply roll this up. Nice little roll. If you have a little piece of meat hanging there, just tuck it in. Now what you can do at this point is you can secure this with a toothpick, or if you were a scout, you can also just take a piece of twine and just give it a little dressing here. Dress it up just so that it holds together nicely. Some will say you should be making a butcher's knot. I have no idea what a butcher's knot is, so I'll just twist this. That's pretty good. And I have a baking pan here. So now I have some bread. And this was from a baguette that had not gone completely hard, but it was really crusty. So it was a little still edible, but it was you'd break a tooth trying to eat it. So I zipped it in the food processor, and you can see these are not bread crumbs, but bread pieces. So it's going to still have a nice texture. It's going to give you a little crunch when it gets baked. So to that, I'm going to add about a teaspoon or so. I have a seasoning called Justice. So it has like chives, onions, a little parsley in there. Give that a little shake. Now we have a beaten up egg here. So we're just going to roll that in the egg. Roll that into those delicious bread chunks, pressing down on it to make sure they adhere. And now put it in the pan. And I have 3 more to go, so I'll check back with you in a minute. Okay, I have the chicken breasts all tied up, nicely coated with the bread. And, you know, this looks pretty good, but, you know, could we do something better with it? So I'm just going to take a little melted butter, because butter is really good. And just going to drizzle that just on top. Just think of that nice sweetness that butter can impart. It's going to help those nice pieces of bread crisp up a little bit. And then with that, I decided to take some small potatoes, and I'm just going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil over the top of them. I'm going to use the same seasoning that I used on the chicken, just so that we have a nice complement of flavors. Sprinkle that on top. Give those a quick little turn to coat. Do a little more. And then onto a aluminum foil lined baking sheet, and we'll just cook the 2 things together, 375, and we'll check back in about 40 minutes. Hey, it's been about 40 minutes, and look at those delicious chicken breasts stuffed with Boursin cheese and some sun-dried tomatoes. Let's take one of them out. I think I'll take this one right here on the end. And remember, we tied those up with a little butcher's twine. So get my scissors. Cut that off. Don't necessarily want to eat that. Some people might like that roughage, but not me. Yeah, let's just put that. There we go. String is off, and let's cut into this. Looks good. I'm going to serve that with a little roasted acorn squash. Roasted this earlier today. The harder skin comes off relatively easily. You can do that ahead of time or just let your guests do that at the table. And we also had some potatoes in the oven, so let's just go grab those. Here they are, some cute little potatoes. And maybe just put, they're little. I think we'll go with 3. Anyway, that's it for today. Until we eat again. Bye.